So my agent tells me you just have to film everything. Right? I should film everything. Film everything. We've been filming everything on the dead tours and stuff like that. There's 4 terabytes of this fucking idiot who hasn't even taken a shower yet because I've been working all night. Never work with the Middle East when you're in California. It's a very difficult time zone. But anyway, someone told me I should watch this, so I'm gonna watch this. And look, I'm not a lefty. I'm not a righty. I'm much more complex than those two categorizations. You know, my battle every day is inside my own brain and with who Yorks. But someone told me I should watch
Imagine being able to build an app.
We're going to watch this, right? Let's process this.
Meet Base 44.
So what we're looking for is
AI creation
what's
platform.
facts, what's not. But I heard there's just some good. I heard there's just some good salesmanship in this, right? I'm not a big MSNBC guy, just because I think they're kind of like weak. And I don't really respect that stuff, but they do their best. But I do think this guy Lawrence O'Donnell once in a while is pretty funny because he's almost got a comedic level to him. So here we go.
Has never been a prosecutor, but did serve
hold on.
as one of the lowest-ranking members of Donald Trump's criminal defense team.
All right, so let's see what's true.
Arguing against trying to charge former FBI Director James Comey with crimes.
Yeah, they got 7 days to get him.
Demanded
you got 7 days to get him. And I don't like Comey, dude. This guy's
which is only possible in the next 6 days.
Yeah.
Before the statute of limitations would run out and make it impossible to charge James Comey on that. This week, Donald Trump forced out the U.S. attorney who he personally installed in the Eastern District of Virginia after that U.S. attorney refused to try to bring charges against James Comey. Donald Trump replaced that U.S. attorney with a woman who has never tried a case of any kind in federal court and has never been a prosecutor, but did serve
I'm ready to
as
play
one of the lowest-ranking members of Donald Trump's criminal defense team.
Cold baseball.
Donald Trump's
I've never played.
To illegitimately use federal power, including federal prosecutorial power,
Fucking clown card.
literally knows no bounds.
And I'm not a righty or a lefty. I just think it's fucking like I've already reached the stage of this is just so fucking hysterical. You gotta laugh at it.
For Donald Trump to break. And as you just heard today, Donald Trump had a statue of him and his pal Jeffrey Epstein.
This is pretty funny, actually.
Removed from the National Mall.
Look, somebody dropped
where
this
the
thing.
statue had a permit to appear this week until Sunday at 8 p.m. The
Had a
National Park
permit.
Service removed the statue this morning, as they said, due to it not being in compliance with the permit.
So
The National Park Service refuses to say how the statue was not in compliance. It's a 12-foot tall statue that you just saw, bronze, painted statue of Donald Trump and the man who said he was Donald Trump's closest friend for 10 years. The sex trafficker and raper of children, Jeffrey Epstein, who Donald Trump said was a terrific man. The two men are holding hands in the statue.
It's gonna get so much weirder.
That statue
God.
made Donald Trump the first president in history to have a statue of himself placed in Washington during his presidency.
I respect that.
The National Park Service possibly violating
That's a first. The
its
first
own
is a first.
permit rules to take down the statue is the least, as we said, of Donald Trump's abuses of presidential power. Last night, in a special election, voters in Arizona gave our first guest tonight one more member of the Democratic team in the House of Representatives. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries will be joined by a large petition that can force a vote in the House seat. This quote declared on a House seat.
I'm giving up on
right
Congress.
now
I don't really
about
care.
it. Some of my colleagues who are co-signing
Whatever.
to side.
They're all
was
crooks.
the word.
Oh, this is the funny
are
part. That's what they told me
of
about.
the cover-up.
All right.
And the reviews are in for Donald Trump's deranged speech to the United Nations yesterday.
Can you imagine what the rest of the world's saying about
chosen
us?
by the British newspaper, the Daily Mirror, which also called Donald Trump
We used to travel
the
this
world's
country.
most powerful man baby on the front page. The subheadline
A man
says
baby.
Trump rants to the UN about climate, migrants, Gaza, Sadiq's Sharia, London, escalators, marble floors, and teleprompters.
When
The
I grew up
world's
there, you
most
used to travel the
powerful man
world.
baby
You were like
called for
a
an
made
investigation
man
of why
with those
the escalator at
passports.
the United Nations stopped while
They're
Donald Trump
charging us
was
to get
on
into
it.
Europe
The
now.
UN complied and found that the Trump staffer assigned to record video of Donald Trump's escalator ride probably stopped the escalator by mistake as he walked backwards to at the top of the escalator. The United Nations issued a statement about the investigation.
His own boy
a
did it.
subsequent investigation, including a readout of the machine's central processing unit, indicated that the escalator had stopped after a built-in safety mechanism.
So I have no idea if that's true. So what I'll do is I will back check that and back check that. But it's for the present moment. I'm just laughing on it because it's just funny watching people be stupid. Things not working out.
And stuck in or pulled into.
It's like watching a Cocker Spaniel hump your leg.
The videographer may have inadvertently triggered the safety function and the safety function described above.
And I'm not talking about left or right. I'm just talking about competence.
The world's most powerful man baby and decided before the UN investigation that the escalator problem and a malfunctioning teleprompter were sabotage.
The body scanner reveals the
Yeah, I'm not sure about the whole teleprompter thing. I'm not sure about all that. So that definitely seems a little like they were trying to get him. But I know enough about escalators because I've run on them the wrong way and I've stopped them when I'm not supposed to, and so I know where that button is. So I can see the guy like going up trying to get the photo op and any of that. That's plausible. That's somewhat plausible. Oh man, it is early in the morning to be getting this many giggles. And the funny thing also I had to do, so I'm working with this company that does a lot of e-com and paid ad sales. So I had to turn all of my stuff that I have to watch the ads now, because that's how I'm sourcing. I'm like, okay, so these guys are this scale, they're selling, blah, 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 humhealth.com. So I'll put that on my list for you salespeople, blah, 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 blah. I'll go into LinkedIn later, blah, 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 blah. I'll find a branding person, blah, blah, blah. Be like, hey, was watching Lawrence O'Donnell on CTV today, blah, 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 on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. Loved your ad, blah, blah, blah. Never even watched the ad, blah, blah, blah. Love to talk to you about a measurement tool, blah, blah, blah. What's this one? Plant Paper Us. Toxin-free toilet paper. Never really heard about that. Dude, did you see this thing? That there's, and this could be total like bullshit. I haven't even figured this one out, because in which even, AI would tell you. But supposedly people are taking HIV infected blood and putting it with syringes into toilet paper, which I don't even think would really work, to be quite honest with you. But that's some shit to scare you. It's just like, can't we at least just sit and wipe? I love dude wipes, by the way, though. But we were using Huggies when we were on tour before anybody was, as grown men.
And they could have hurt the first lady. Yeah. Trump would have fallen and he would have gotten back up. But,
they would have blamed it on his rhetoric.
And then they
this is Jesse Waters.
Yeah. I mean, this is an insurrection. And what we need to do is either leave the UN or we need to bomb it. It is in New York.
There were no threats from Donald Trump or his administration against the stupidest person at Fox saying we need to bomb the United Nations. Rupert Murdoch, the billionaire owner-operator of the Fox propaganda channel, had absolutely no problem with one of the people he
You're allowed to
pays
say you could
lie
bomb the
for
UN,
Donald Trump,
or you should promote people to bomb the UN?
bombing the United Nations. Presumably, their defense is it was a joke. That is not a defense that Donald Trump and his thuggish administration accepted in the case of Jimmy Kimmel, who came back on television last night after Donald Trump
You can
tried
say,
to get him
I want to bomb the
banned
UN under the First
for
Amendment.
telling a joke. All Donald Trump succeeded in doing is getting Jimmy Kimmel the largest TV audience
That probably doesn't make the
possible last
NYPD
night.
very happy.
Rupert Murdoch's refusal in any way to restrict his propagandists.
Wonderful
who
police
suggest
organization, by the way.
bombing
Let me live in
buildings America
Washington Square
is
Park for
proof
like 3
beyond
weeks.
a reasonable doubt that
In a
there
double
are
no barking zone.
standards of any kind for
Ninth
anyone
precinct.
working at the Fox propaganda network, and there never will be. But they will happily continue to try to ban other people from television on other networks. And speaking of deranged, Donald Trump's reason in writing for canceling a meeting with our first guest tonight is that Democrats want, quote, transgender operations for everybody.
Whoa.
Those are Donald Trump's actual words.
You want to
in
become a boy?
explaining why he canceled a meeting
No,
about
I
the federal
don't.
budget.
Sure you want to become a
With
boy?
the Senate
No, I
Democratic
don't.
leader Chuck Schumer and our first guest tonight, the Democratic leader of the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries. Donald Trump has also said in writing the Democrats want to leave dead people on Medicaid and Social Security rolls.
What?
That's his other reason for not
What?
meeting with Hakeem Jeffries. Donald Trump also said the Democrats want crime. Now, no politician in
reading the
American
news.
history has ever accused the
watching
other
the news.
party of being in favor of crime. Many Republicans have claimed that they are tougher on crime. But think of how deranged you have to be to say that Democrats want crime. Does that mean Democrats don't lock their cars? Does that mean Democrats don't lock their homes? Donald Trump says so many deranged things like that in a day that it's impossible to keep up with them. Negotiating the financing of the federal government in bipartisan negotiations is something that every president in our lifetimes has done repeatedly. Prior to Donald Trump, everyone involved in such negotiations has always taken that role very seriously. Everyone involved shared some sense of responsibility to keep the government funded. But how do you negotiate with someone who has no sense of responsibility about anything? How do you negotiate with someone who has already violated the budget laws that you've already passed in Congress? How do you negotiate with someone who's deranged? How do you negotiate with the world's most powerful man baby? Now, we can all sit back
That's enough of this.
and think it's
All right, so now what we got to do is go to Fox. So let's go to Hannity. Let's see what Hannity Fox says. 15 hours ago. All right. I watch a lot of
This
Fox
is
News.
the Stash packable backpack.
Oh, here we
For
go.
travelers
Pack
who
bags,
need a
pack
day
bags,
bag that actually folds away into a little pouch.
So it's a little
with
hard to
a
figure out how
hanging
big these
hook,
companies
or
are because you can advertise a lot
just lay
cheaper
flat
right now.
in your
But
bag.
most of them are
It'll
like
take up
spending
less
money in the
space
omni-channel
when
the
you
wrong
get
way
to where
because
you're
basically
going.
like old rule-based attribution doesn't really work anymore. So like first click, second click, all that shit. So what you really want to do is you want to understand data-driven attribution. And from data-driven attribution, you can actually point the compass north. And then from there, what you can do is you can run incrementality-focused MTA, multi-touch attribution. And from there, what you can do is you can do true MMM with incrementality calibrated incrementality tests. And then from there, what you can do is you can get into true predictive analytics, which is, you know, if I spend this much, how much is this going to happen? So like there's all these legacy players like this Whale company and a Beam company and a House company and all these weird companies. And all the agencies in the middle market are just going through all this shit and they just don't know what to do with it because they were all built on SEO. And like content's really not that important anymore because everyone else like, I'll just do it myself because content's pretty mild these days. The whole marketing world's shifting. The SaaS companies need to catch up. Oh, here he is.
And breaking tonight, former FBI Director James Comey facing
they gotta lead with that.
potential perjury charges over allegations that he lied to Congress. Now, Fox News is told that a grand jury
Probably did lie to
is meeting
Congress.
to consider an indictment.
He is a zealot.
There are also tonight multiple reports that New York Attorney General, Miss Get Trump, that would be Attorney General Tish James, well, she may be in trouble for mortgage fraud. We will have all the details coming up tonight straight ahead. Also tonight, part-time governor, full-time Tweety Bird, full-time podcaster, Gavin Newsom, my friend. Just can't get my name out of his mouth. Keep it out of his mouth anyway. I got a friendly message for him coming up in my response. I know Tweety Bird is watching. Stay tuned for that. 24/7 deranged condemnation of President Trump, his administration, ICE, and law enforcement agents, conservatives in general, needs to stop. Needs to stop now. Look at where we are at this moment as a country. Oh, apparently it's not there. All right, 2 weeks. We'll show you something in a minute. Now, 2 weeks removed from the assassination of Charlie Kirk, America woke up to yet another act of targeted political violence. A 29-year-old man opened fire at an ICE facility in Dallas this morning in what the Department of Homeland Security is now calling an attack on ICE law enforcement. The FBI Director, Kash Patel, shared images on social media of literally unspent ammunition with the words anti-ICE written on it. And as of now, this seems very deliberate. Luckily, no ICE agents were killed or injured in the attack. Sadly, one ICE detainee was killed. 2 others were seriously wounded. And remember, this all comes amid a massive spike in threats.
Good job. And we just keeping seeing it increase
Back in the day. On this show, we will be specific. Deny that the insane, never-ending, dehumanizing rhetoric from the left is so out of control, as President Trump himself wrote on Truth Social earlier today. Radical left Democrats, they are now constantly demonizing law enforcement, calling for ICE to be demolished, comparing ICE officers to Nazis. You can add calling them Gestapo and brown shirts, and we'll show you that in a minute, and worse. Now, Trump, in the same message, called on Democrats to stop this unhinged rhetoric against ICE and law enforcement right away. And he's right. It needs to stop.
This is the same guy who said he hated people at a funeral the other day, though, right?
Nazi, Hitler, Stalin,
Whoever
Mussolini.
got up at a funeral and said,
stops.
I hate people.
It's every day.
I guess some people
It
have done
needs to stop.
I haven't seen it.
This is what it sounds like.
I've been to a lot of funerals.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets.
As somebody who understands history, when I see ICE, I see slave patrols.
the dangers that we saw in Nazi Germany are the dangers that we need to react to now.
And these ICE agents running around our communities like masked bank robbers, terrorizing women.
Masked ICE agents, no badge, no identification, grabbing people off the streets.
Masked secret ICE agents.
As someone who's been pulled over more times than most, especially driving a very large bus at one point, if someone tried to pull me over who was masked, who had no identification, and let's say I had a daughter who was like 17 or 18, like legally, like 17-year-old hot blonde driving along, and some guy, and you know what I would tell her? Do not stop the fucking car. Drive immediately to a police station. Drive immediately to an ER, but do not stop that car. No way, Jose. I read Mindhunter, dude. Do you know that most serial killers actually wanted to be police officers? If you read Mindhunter, which is like they built like the behavioral science, I studied the FBI, the CIA, all that shit. And most of them, they drove a car that was like a police car. They pulled multiple people over using fake badges. That's what they were doing. It's fucked up. It's true.
That is not justice. It is cruelty. And it is
When this guy Mandani wins in freaking
My name is Daniel. I am the inventor
New York,
of the popsicle and the founder of
oh man,
I designed the popsicle when Milo was about a year old.
which I think is a good
He was
thing.
diagnosed with a luxating
But
patella.
you know,
As a
just to
result,
like
he had to go into
have some
surgery.
diversity,
He
you know,
wasn't able
like
to walk after his
in
surgery,
the
so I found myself
in the political,
looking for all kinds of
you know,
solutions
Thunderdome.
to entertain
You know, like
the
I look at
patient.
like
Popsicle was
politics
designed
as
to
like
be a dog toy
when the
item.
WWE
Police
was really
tricks in the
good.
dance floor, and then
You know,
reused
like they had The
memory
Rock,
and extra
they had
In the process of
Mankind,
using it,
they had
it's
Stone
got all these
Cold,
amazing
Triple H.
benefits. It was
You
easier
know,
to freeze larger
back in the day,
treats
Rowdy
because of
Roddy
how big the
Piper.
internal cavity is.
You know,
These larger treats
when you have
would
like a
last
diversity,
longer.
that's
You
what
get a
makes
lot
it
more
good. When they're all the
playtime
same,
on this
you know, you can't have like a
These
million Bob
recipes
Bachmans.
that had additional nutritional
Who was a good
benefits.
wrestler?
It was a really great way to get distraction, but at the same time nutrition for Milo. And that
Not that I
recovery
watch
was
wrestling
basically
anymore,
the
but
genesis.
as a young man, I did grow up.
We have an
watching
amazing team here.
$175 billion in the bill that was just signed to reinforce the ranks of ICE, Homeland Security, for what is increasingly becoming self-evident to anyone with eyes wide open and any level of objectivity, a private army for Donald Trump.
Private Army. We'll respond to Gavin in a minute. Now, Secretary Noem, she has to now live in military housing for her safety. our border czar, Tom
I don't think
Homan.
Noam's
He
running
has
it.
a
I think it's
full-time security
Lewinsky's
detail
running the whole
because
thing.
of the
You know, I mean, his
rhetoric
ego's
of
so
radical
big.
Democrats around the
And they
country.
also, like,
He says
you know, they're
he
both
doesn't live with
attractive
his
people, and they're
family
both have, like, the
because he
same
doesn't want
kind of fucked
them
up
to
frequency
face
in their
the
own
same
way.
threats that he is
That they're
facing.
probably,
He took a
they've
public
probably been snooking it
service
up a little
job.
bit. That's a
He
theory,
is
not a
enforcing
fact.
the law. ICE agents are enforcing
But, you know, it
the
gets
law.
lonely when you work together
And
a
now,
lot.
in the case of Tom Homan, don't live in Nazi Germany. This is not fascism. This
Especially
is,
when you're at
can
war,
be and
or
should
you're
be,
or perceived
and hopefully
war.
will be better than this. Our elected officials, same rhetoric, the same language. Trends repeat.
I don't know.
But
I
when
think
you do
Lawrence
it every
O'Donnell
day,
was funnier.
It's having an effect. Cue second, every minute, every hour of every day that this.
Hannity's gotten a little bit, because I've watched him so much. He's gotten like the way John Tortorella was back in the day. Just yells and yells and yells and yells and yells and yells. It's like that. Just like it's like Charlie Brown's teacher's voices. Wah, 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 wah,
It is
wah,
having
wah.
a dehumanizing impact and effect. And is it
The average
really
Fox
that
user is
far-fetched
67
to
years
ask
old.
if people on the edge by getting rid of Nazis? It's God's will on earth, because they have been indoctrinated to rule Nazis because they hear it every day. They're afraid. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews.
So that's how you do it, right? You watch one side, like if this big talking head said this one said this. Notice how they didn't talk about anything that was the same. Well, I guess that's what a pundit does, right? A pundit pontificates. I still find a sense of humor, though. Like the big problem with the right, in my opinion, is they just don't have a sense of humor other than the expense of someone else. And they never self-degrade, right? Like a good comedian always fucking makes fun of themselves. Like, I'm a bozo on the bus. I know nothing. The whole world's changed. What the fuck do I know? I do know one thing. I know this is a cute Yorkie. Boop, boop, boop. So I asked a bunch more people to give me some topics. I talked to the White Horse too. And the White Horse gave me some good stuff from the front lines of enterprise software about what I should be talking to people about, which relates to selling, but it also relates to having a career in the long run. You know, because I hired these guys mostly when they were in their first year of business, and I was talking about much heavier themes than, you know, a SaaS rep gets talked to in their first week in a job, or first year in a job, or really anywhere ever in a job. Yeah, if you want to be a really good person, you got to throw the rope back over and be a good mentor if you can ask people to work for you. Everyone should come out much more valuable and 2 times worth their cash, with tons more skills if they work for you. I just call that your wake. You know, what's in your wake? Like when I drive my boat really fast at night, you can see the phosphorus come up. You should look in your wake. And don't get me wrong, there's some people that, like, you just blown to smithereens. There's nothing you can do. They deserved it. They wanted a shot at the title. Put the grenade in their mouth, pull the pin, close their mouth, laugh. But the rest of them should be like, honey, you are my shining star. Don't you go away. Oh, babe. All right, I gotta get some fucking work done. But that's what I mean, flip-flop it. That's the polarization right there. See something, go watch the other thing. Boom, boom, boom. Right? And if you can, just don't believe in any of it. I don't believe shit.